The month of November is coming to an end, and I want to tell you that this is one of the craziest months because there has been a lot of things happening in UK politics. I know most of you are busy, you don't have time to catch up on all the news, so I'm going to summarize some of the things that happened in the past month, like this month we are in, yes, October and November, so that you will know what is happening in the UK. It's so important that you keep updated on the happenings here because it will affect you in one way or the other, whether you like it or not. If you're an immigrant, you need to stay updated. Now, if you're meeting me for the first time, my name is Cynthia. I share information that will help your transition into the UK to be as smooth as possible. I share information about settling, working, or studying the UK. If you're interested in these, then you need to subscribe to this channel. We are getting to 10,000 subscribers. Yes, we are currently at 9,000 subscribers. Thank you so much for your love and support. And we're going to have a giveaway once we clock 10,000. I don't want you to miss out on it. It's going to be the top 5 engaging audience members. That's the top 5. So it's so easy to identify these people because on the YouTube studio, you will be able to see those people and we'll have a giveaway just to say thank you so much for your love and support. And without wasting time, let's get into this video. Now, the first news I want to share with you was published on November 12th, 2024. It's about nearly 200 visa sponsorship licenses that were revoked initially has been reinstated. So the UK government reinstated their licenses and these employers were ordered to pay more than £6 million. That's $7.7 million combined in compensation to their workers. But initially it was revoked. Now it has been reinstated. It means they can now employ, laborers. Now, if your employer's license was revoked, you can go and check whether their license has been reinstated. I've shared a link on how you can check whether your employer's license has been revoked, or maybe if your employer's license is still intact. I've shared a link like that. I think I'll put it in the description box so you can check it from time to time. Some people don't know their employer's license has been revoked and some employers will not tell you. So it's so important that you know the status of your employer's license, because when the Home Office sends you that letter, they will tell you you have 60 days to switch to another visa or leave the UK. So this is just some form of good news. They said they actually violated some employment rights and they have been fined, and now they have reinstated their sponsorship licenses. So I think it's a bit of good news. If the employer has repented, that would be good, because I know that there are many care workers that have been abused in their workplace because they are vulnerable because of one thing or the other. They've been abused. And that's why I also tell you that please go and register with a union so that someone can fight for you. There are some people that when they register with a union, the union will be able to support them if there's any crisis. Sometimes they think everything is working out well and you won't be in any form of trouble, but something will spring up. And trust me, an employee is very disposable if you are not protected. So that's one thing that happened. Now, the second news I want to share with you is on the government website. It was published on 28th of November 2024. It said rogue employers will be banned from hiring overseas worker. But actually, the government is reporting here what they have done in the past month. Oh my goodness. They said a range of sanctions has been taken against those employing illegal workers, including financial penalty notices. You know that if you employ somebody that does not have the right to work, the penalty can be as high as £60,000, and sometimes it could be included with like 5 years imprisonment, jail time. It's not funny, guys. They also said it can lead to business closure orders, which they have actually carried out, and also potential persecution. Now, let's just go down here. You would see they said we have delivered a major surge in immigration enforcement, targeted visits to rogue businesses suspected of employing illegal workers, with 856 visits in October alone, a 55% increase on the same month last year. Between January and October this year, more than 6,600 visits have been made, and 22% increase on the same period last year, with over 4,600 arrests being made up to 21% on last year. So it's about employing people who do not have the right to work, because as you can see here, it says international care workers are particularly vulnerable to abuse, with widespread concerns of exploitation in the sector. The Department of Health and Social Care has already been working closely with the Home Office to share concerns and intelligence on bad practices in the recruitment and employment of overseas care workers, and the measures announced today will further bolster the government's action against exploitation. I've been telling you guys that there has been a lot of abuse here. There are people that are care workers that are vulnerable. They go through one thing or the other. That's why I always tell people, join a union. That money, I don't know whether it's £15 or £20 a month, is worth it at the end. When you come to join them towards the, as in when you have a problem, they might not be able to help you. They will say, some unions have a rule that they won't help somebody who has joined in the last 1 month coming to bring a petition. They say it's too early. So there are cases where your union will be able to support you to get another license. It has happened. I'm not saying all unions do that, but just do your investigation and find out the best union you should join. I made a video about it. I'll just put the link here so you can have access to it. Now, the third news is about the general election. There is a petition going on right now calling for another general election. And let me tell you something, this petition has almost 3 million signatures to it. It seems that people are not comfortable with some of the policies that the new government has put in place. Remember that they are not here. The election just took place like a few months ago in July, and the Labour Party took over. And people were having this hope that with the new Labour Party, things will be better, because they promised that they won't increase taxes. That's one of the things they promised. But even though they have not increased taxes when it comes to income tax, there are other taxes that have been increased. We have heard about the winter fuel that has been removed. It is something, small money that people use to, take care of themselves during the winter to receive some heating in their house. They've removed that one. There's also farmers' inheritance tax. There are a lot of taxes. In fact, capital gains tax has gone up. The one that is shocking many people, if you have friends who own companies, they will tell you about the national insurance employer tax. So the employer is going to pay more on the national insurance, not you. So it's not coming out from your pocket, but it's from the employer's pocket. And remember that in April, the minimum wage will go up to £12.44. So if you talk to your friends who own companies, they will tell you their struggles. One of their struggles is that they won't be able to, keep all their staff. Some people are already talking about letting some people go, and some say they cannot just sack people just like that. They might have to reduce hours. And reducing hours, if you used to work maybe 37.5 hours a week, and they're reducing your hours to 30 hours a week because they won't have to keep the company afloat, it becomes a problem. Seriously, it really becomes a problem. So many employers are complaining that the business environment in the UK is not suitable for them to run their businesses the way they want. Most especially, some schools are complaining. I'm talking about the private schools. Remember that the tuition has been increased. They added VAT on tuition, which is 20% on the private school fees. Now, you might be thinking, I'm not an elite. I don't send my children to private schools. Some people prefer private schools, so they save a lot of money to be able to put their kids there. Now, when you increase it by 20%, it's not part of their budget. Some of these people have decided to withdraw their kids. 20% is a lot of money, And withdrawing your kids from such schools, if the curriculum does not fit with the local schools in their area, it means they won't be able to write GCSE. So these are some of the problems. These private schools are also experiencing the fact that if they cannot, get as many people as possible for the next term, as many students, because they are the ones that fuel the school and grow the school. So they still have to pay an increased NI for each teacher's salary, and not just teachers, even non-academic staff. So these are some of the problems, and I'm hearing that some private schools have decided to close. So it's a huge struggle for some people. Now, one thing about policies like this, when they come up, I'm talking about taxation and all this, it might affect some other people positively. It will affect others negatively. Now, the UK government announced that the reason for putting all these policies is so that they can be able to boost the economy, make it stronger, you know, because you have to get money from somewhere if you want to support the NHS. You need to get money from somewhere if you want to build 1.5 million houses. Remember that they promised that they were going to build 1.5 million houses. Now, with that, the money has to come from somewhere. And the places they are bringing this money from, people are complaining seriously about it. There's one more thing that I feel would affect your pocket. The retailers have signed a letter notifying the public and the government and everybody that they cannot cope anymore, and they're going to increase the prices of goods and services. You would see that letter. It was signed by Aldi, Tesco. Many top UK retail brands have signed the letter that says that, hey, the way things are going in the UK, prices are going to go up. Everybody prepare. There's nothing we can do about it, because some of these taxes, I'm talking about the NI employer tax going up. We are talking about minimum wage. We are talking about so many other things that are going up. It means it's going to trickle down to the prices of goods and services in the UK. And they're saying everybody should buckle up and get ready, because this is going to be a tough season. What do you think about it? Christmas is around the corner. Are we going to still have Christmas? You know, I know everybody would still have Christmas, but what do you think about all these things that are happening in the UK? Let's not just talk about universities and how they are struggling financially. What do you think about everything that is happening in the UK right now? What are your thoughts? Write it in the comment box. It is a tough season, I know, for everyone. Everybody should just cut their expenditure. But see, I feel like everybody should look for a side hustle, look for something, a second job, look for some way to get your 20 hours. If you're on a skilled worker visa, get an extra 20 hours in another sector to boost your income. Do not stick with a minimum wage, because it's going to be a big struggle. I don't know, what are your thoughts about this? Please share it in the comment box, and I'll see you in my next video. Bye-bye.